Yeah?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to another video where today we're going to be talking about the labor and delivery.
Story time.
Yeah, story time.
So this has been kind of requested by some friends of mine. We want to give a big shout out to everyone that supported us on our first video. It's almost hitting 300 views, which is crazy.
Yeah. I haven't seen the video before. You might want to check it out first.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good video.
Especially if you want to get caught up, so.
Yeah. So, actually, you guys are probably wondering why Jeremy is with me on this video if I was the one that was in labor and delivered.
I'm here to, like, clarify things because she was super, like, groggy and, like, you literally tried to talk to her and then she'd respond, but 5 minutes later she'd be like, what?
I was sleeping most of my labor, I guess.
Yeah, she's probably,
So
I'd say she was asleep probably, like, more than half of it, so.
like 80%, dude, like, no joke. I started off 2 weeks prior to the, what's it called? 2 weeks prior to
Your appointment.
when Roman was born. 2 weeks prior to when he was born, I had a lot of contractions, like a lot, and they were like a minute apart, 2 minutes apart, but they weren't very strong. But I still went to the hospital just to make sure that everything was okay, kind of a thing. And they had me walk around for like, how long? It was like a long time because we just wanted to go home.
I'd say an hour.
Yeah, it was a while. So yeah, after that we were taken home because I did not dilate anymore. I was like 1 centimeter dilated. No, I was a fingertip dilated. Remember?
Yeah.
I was a fingertip dilated. That was super frustrating just because I felt like a lot of pain. Not a lot, but it was just super uncomfortable. So I had an appointment, the regular OBGYN appointments. Mine were weekly now, obviously, because I was so far along. So in my appointment, I actually had a different doctor because my doctor had like a family emergency or like a vacation. I'm not sure which one it was. But she wasn't there, and so I had to go with another doctor called Dr. Guzman. And
just to point out, he was a great guy. Like,
yeah.
He was super kind, and he spoke Spanish, which was...
Yeah, it was super helpful. I mean, my other doctor did too, but...
Yeah, I mean, at least our family...
Yeah.
We still had an opportunity for our doctor to explain things to our family.
Yeah, definitely. Anywho, so I had a checkup with him, and I mentioned to the doctor that I wasn't feeling Roman moving as much in my stomach, or like he wanted to get an ultrasound done with me. And so we went across the hall in his office, and the machine wasn't working. And so I was sent to the labor and delivery hospital because it's like 2 separate buildings. This time I was sent to an actual like labor and delivery room. Like it was a big ass room. They did like a good hour to get seen.
Oh, it was quite a while.
Yeah, it took a while. And so finally the ultrasound technician comes in. She comes and she checks the baby, and they're obviously looking at the fluid levels because that's what can cause low fetal movements. So she leaves and she gave the ultrasounds to the doctor, and then the doctor says that he needs more pictures. So she comes back in. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she came back in, and then she took even more pictures, which even took even longer. And I think after that is when I got food. Nurse comes in and she informs me that the regular fluid levels are like around a 6 or a 7, I'm not sure, but I was at a 4. So then at this point they gave me the option of being induced. And when they told me this, like I started to cry. Like I could not believe it. Like it was more of the fact that Roman was coming, like now, like any hour now. Like what did you feel when they told us that?
Well, honestly, I felt kind of the same. I was like, oh, it's gonna be any hour, like just a few hours from now.
We decided to get induced, and then we told our family, our friends. I called my mom from work. Everyone came over. I think it was his family that came over first. I think it was your mom and your brother.
He was here on vacation because he lives in Georgia. I'm gonna plug my brother's channel just so you can check him out.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I should check him out. It's pretty cool what he does.
The doctor wanted to proceed and getting me induced. I decided to put this thing called the balloon. I'm pretty sure it has a more medical name to it. Since the balloon is like kind of big, it's not big. It's like seriously like small, but it just puts pressure on my cervix and it like forces it to open up basically.
It just makes it expand.
Yeah, after I got it inserted, it has to be in for 12 hours and it's supposed to get me up to 4 centimeters. During this time, it was living hell. Like, it hurt like shout out to my cousin Yesenia because she was there throughout the whole thing. I got that inserted at 4 p.m. and then it's 12 hours that I have to wait for them to take it out. So at 4 a.m. they took it out and I was only 3 centimeters dilated. So after that, the doctor came in and he broke my water.
And then once they broke it, you were in massive pain.
They broke my water and it hurt so bad that breaking my water that I was like, I need the epidural like as soon as possible. Like, gave me the epidural.
Which that was a process as well.
Yeah, it took a really long time.
They had kind of trouble.
Yeah, they had trouble and I had to like grab onto this nurse and like shout out to that nurse because she was probably like the best nurse in like the whole world. Actually, all the nurses that I had.
What's really nice about the nurses as well is that even after like she gave
after she was off her shift, she would come in and she'd be like, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of stuff like that. I was given the epidural and I had to like hug the nurse because he couldn't like get it in position in my back. I don't know what he means by that.
It's not that he couldn't get it into position. It's just that he couldn't get it in all the way. It was just super tight, like getting in the right spot. And if he... it was just super tight and he would like try to push, but the needle wouldn't go through all the way. And he didn't want to push too hard because or else it could cause a lot of damage.
When he was putting the epidural in, I did feel a lot of pressure on my back, but I didn't really know what was going on. But yeah, he eventually got it in. And he put tape all over my damn back. After that, I was given oxytocin or Pitocin, whatever you want to call it, to induce me even further. At that point, I was being rotated constantly, 15 to 30 minutes-ish, kind of a thing, yeah. And my body would also shake like crazy.
Oh, she would tremble like her body, like, since she got the epidural, she didn't feel anything, but...
my body would still like...
It was still reacting to everything. So her body was like shaking like... It was scary. Like as if you were in Antarctica like completely without clothes. It was bad. It was so scary.
I was basically sleeping throughout this whole thing. Like literally like the only time I would wake up is when they were like checking my blood pressure or like when they were like cleaning out my IV or... like stuff like that the nurse would have to come in and check up on me. I wasn't progressing quickly. I only got to a 6 and it took a couple hours to get there. I wasn't progressing at all. The nurses were getting worried and they would call the doctor. Roman wasn't positioning right either and I also developed a fever. Like he was saying, I was getting the chills and so they wanted to cover me up with blankets. But the nurses were like, no, stop because she has a fever. We don't want to heat her up more.
It was one of those things that like...
What the hell do I do?
Yeah, like, you know she's in, like, her body's in pain and it's, like, struggling and you want to help, but there's no way you can help, so you can't just sit there and just, oh, you got this.
I was given antibiotics for the fever, and then also, Roman wasn't cooperating with positioning, so they were moving me even more, like, my sides. I had to be on my knees, on my sides, and I would, like, rotate all the time. An hour after that, or earlier, I felt tons and tons of pressure. And the nurses weren't checking me to see how far dilated I was because that's where they thought, like, that's possibly where I, like, was getting the infection from, was from them checking me. So, like, they were, like, putting the checking, like, on pause. Like, they weren't trying to do it as much as possible. And so, the nurse was, kind of hesitant on checking me. I don't know why, but she had to call the doctor for something, and she gave me like an option. She was like, you want me to check you or you want me to call the doctor? Like, are you, like, basically saying, are you feeling this much pressure, like, that I have to check you, kind of a thing. So yeah, I basically begged her to check me, and she did, and she was shocked, and she told me that I was crowning. And keep in mind, at this point, like, I could not believe it myself. I was like, oh my god, like, the time is actually here. And also, nobody was in the room. Like, out of his whole family, out of my whole family, my cousin's family, like, no one was there. Like, Literally nobody. Like, he was out getting food, I think. Were you?
I think I was just getting back when the nurse... I went home for something, and then I came back, and as I was walking in, that's when the nurse walked in, like, right behind me. And then she asked, like, do you want me to check you? Do you want the doctor to check you? And then she called the doctor immediately. Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like a waiting process. He got there really quick, actually. Probably like within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I call my family. We call the doctor. Everyone shows up around the same time, and then the only last person that we were waiting on was my cousin. She was literally the last person we were waiting on.
It's kind of ironic because usually, like,
yeah,
for the
she
most
was
part,
there through the whole thing. Like, she was the one that wouldn't want to leave, and then once it like happened, like, she wasn't there. It was weird. But anyways, this is 7 in the morning now. Like, this is around 7:15ish in the morning. So the doctors get here, my family gets here, and then my cousin's finally here. Everyone's mainly in the lobby, and the only people I had in the room while I was delivering was him, my cousin Yesenia, and my mom, and the doctor and the nurse. Before the doctor came, the nurses gave me like a practice push, like just to know what to do when the doctor comes. And they told me that I only pushed once because the nurses were like, stop, 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 we see the head.
When she first pushed, I saw Roman's head sticking out. Like, I saw his hair, like literally all, like the whole top of his head, like, and it was completely like, he has a lot of hair. Honestly, as like right when I saw him, my heart just dropped.
The doctor comes in, he gets all his instruments ready, not instruments but like tools and stuff ready, and then I pushed literally 3 times and Roman was out. Roman was born at 7:38 a.m. in the morning, and we have a baby boy. Because I got a fever, Roman was taken to the NICU, and he was there for a couple of days. But we're gonna have another video for that because
that's also another story.
Yeah,
another really long story.
Another long story, yeah. I hated the NICU. But let me explain. After I gave birth to Roman, I felt really tired. And like, I felt like I was going to die. Like, literally. Like, I just thought everyone else, like, as soon as I gave birth and like I was covered up and everything, like everyone else came in from the lobby to see Roman. And like, I just remember everybody walking in and looking at him, and like no one would look at me, and I was just like there like dying. Like, I felt like I was literally dying. I felt like this was it. I don't know, it was a really weird feeling. My mom came up to me though and she's like, are you okay? But yeah.
And we got Roman weight, and then we got his length, and then
yeah, we'll insert a video because we do have that on video. We'll insert that. But yeah. So now to show y'all Roman. I want to know what was behind me while I was recording? This dog, oh my god.
Yo, he dead asleep. What is wrong with this guy? Good morning.
Good morning, dude. Good morning, Chester. Oh my gosh. Anywho, what y'all want to see? This is baby Roman. He's sleeping. But yeah, he's 3 months. He turned 3 months a couple days ago. But that's my baby boy.
Alright guys, well, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, leave a like and comment down below.
Leave us any comment ideas for any videos, any other videos, any challenges, any more story times, anything about Roman.
Thank you guys for everything, and thanks for all the support. Thank you for everybody at the hospital, all our family.
Everyone that was with us, all the nurses, even the ones at the NICU.
Although y'all were super frustrating, you did help us through a lot, so we still appreciate your help.
Yeah, so thank y'all so much for watching. Till next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.